back? You're back? I gotta tell you, you must be a glutton for punishment. I mean, why else would you be hanging out here with me on the Daddy's Working podcast? I don't know, but since you're here, may as well tell you what I have in store for you on today's show. If you've got low energy, maybe a lack of energy, maybe you're not feeling as young as you once were, got something for you. If you want to be a good provider, but you don't feel like you have enough time, and maybe you're not doing all the right things, if you don't know what you're leaving behind, and maybe that scares the hell out of you, I know it scares me, then today's show is custom made for you. So let's dive in. So what I'm about to tell you here is going to be a little counterintuitive for most people, because we live in a society that wants you to believe that you need to put everybody else before you. And that is not true. I'm going to make a case today to be more selfish. Yeah, you heard me. Be more selfish. Sounds a little bit strange, but let's jump into this. Look, you've been on planes before, and you know this spiel. You probably even tune her out when she's reading the whole safety script. But there's that one little part, one about the oxygen mask.
In the event of a decompression, an oxygen mask will automatically appear in front of you. If you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask on first, and then assist the other person.
Yeah, you hear that all the time, don't you? Put your mask on before you help anyone else. So what's the point to that? Why would you do that? If we're in a society where you're supposed to put everybody else ahead of you, then why wouldn't you go around the plane putting everybody else's masks on before you put your mask on? Because you die. That's right. You would die. Yet somehow I see people all over, entrepreneurs just like me, just like you, trying to put their clients ahead of them, their family ahead of them, whatever their team needs ahead of them, and they don't take care of themselves. And there's three main areas that you need to focus on, and I call them the 3 F's. Number 1, finance. Number 2, fitness. Number 3, faith. And this is a big reminder to me, because I've been slacking on my faith lately. I'm a third-degree Knight of Columbus, and I haven't been volunteering as much as I ought to be, and feeling guilty about it. So maybe by putting it here on the show, I will do something about that. At least that's the idea. So look, you're a busy entrepreneur. You have a business, you have a team, you have clients, and the one thing you cannot make any more of is time. And you might be feeling like you're short on time. You might feel like there's not enough time in the day. You might feel like there's no way to make more time. And you're kind of right. There isn't any way that you can make more time, because time is finite. You only get so much of it. We all get the same 24 hours to accomplish things in the days, but how is it that there are some people that just seem to get everything done and then some? It's simple. Take control of your time. That's the first thing you want to do. And when I'm talking about being selfish, it starts with your time. Because I'm willing to bet if you are feeling burnt out, if you're feeling like you don't have a lot of energy, if you're feeling like your days are taking over, maybe you don't have family time or as much family time as you would like, it's because you're reacting. And I'm going to encourage you today to take control of your time. And the first step is so simple. You don't even need a pen and pad, but you might want to write it down so you remember it, because it's too simple. It's too simple, which will make it easy to forget. And that's simply tracking your time. And I'm not talking about just, hey, I worked an hour here, I worked an hour there, went to lunch. No. I'm talking about you taking out I use a journal. Maybe you use a journal or a piece of paper, a note card you keep in your pocket. Or one of the things I like to use actually nowadays, when I first started this, I used to do it on pen and paper. But what I like to use today is something called Toggle, Togl. Great app, and tracks your time. But look, I don't want you to get caught up in what to use, because that would be a total distraction. What I want you to focus on here is being accountable. And so when I first started doing this many, many years ago, I just had a piece of paper and I would write down 11:10 a.m. to 11:20 a.m. Messed around on Facebook. Oh, man. 11:20 a.m. to 12:20 p.m. Wrote an email. Oh, that's useful. 12:20 to 3 p.m. Had lunch. Oh, no. What am I doing? But look, the thing here is to be 100% honest about how you're spending your time. And if you're 100% honest and you audit yourself, you can start seeing, oh my gosh, look at the time I'm wasting here. Look at the time I'm wasting there. All this time that you're wasting, you can recapture. So maybe you can't make any more time in your day, but you can use the time that you have more wisely. And the better you get at this, the better your days will be. And you'll find out how much you can get done in relatively small amount of time. Like projects just shrink up and take less time when you're actually using focused attention. And that's what this is really about. So look, that's time, right? So that's where it starts, being selfish with your time, tracking your time, and being accountable to yourself and saying, look, I'm wasting time here. Got to get rid of those activities, whether you delegate them or get rid of them, and look for the times where you have the most energy and you're able to give focused attention to your projects. And you'll be surprised at how powerful you will be, how in control you will be, how much more energy you will have. Yeah. I know you were getting into that, but what kind of marketer would I be if I didn't make you an offer? So check this out. How would you like to spend more time with your family and less time on your business? Before anyone chooses to do business with you, they need to know one thing. Can I trust you? But building trust can take forever. And I know you don't have that kind of time. But what if there was a way to build trust in minutes instead of years? Would you want it? I know you would. So go grab yourself a copy of my Digital Daddies Toolkit. Inside, you'll get my top 3 speed influence tools to make you a trusted expert in any market fast. Go to daddiesworking.com/DDT to grab your copy today. Try it. And I'm saying try it. I mean, try it for at least 2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks. And do an audit at the end of each week. Maybe even 3 weeks. Do an audit at the end of each week. And look for improvements and look at the way you feel. I guarantee you within a month, you will be in more control and you will have more time that you didn't have before. And I don't know about you, but me, when I have that extra time, I want to spend it with my family. I want to spend it riding my motorcycle. I want to spend it having fun and replenishing my energy. So I recommend that you start this immediately so you can have more fun in your life. All right, so time, that's the first thing that you have to take control of and be selfish about. Now let's get into those 3 F's: financial, fitness, and faith. So finance, number 1. Look, T. Harv Eckert, if you haven't read his books, go get them now. Forget everything I'm telling you and go read his books. There was something I learned in the, I believe it was the Millionaire Mind, where he talked about the envelopes. And so I used to have a hard time. I really did. I had a hard time with saving money and allocating my money. I was irresponsible. And so, especially back when I was in construction, I never had any money. And I used to always say I was broke. I learned that from my dad. Thanks, Dad. But I just didn't know what to do with my money. And when I read that envelope system in T. Harv Eckert's book, where you just separate little bits of money for different things, I realized how much I could do with my money. And when I say be selfish, and I'm talking about finances, it sounds bad, but it's really not that bad, because the first thing that I figured out was how to save when I was on that envelope system. And I realized that I could put away 20% pretty easily and still have everything I wanted, have all the fun, pay all my bills, and have some money being saved up. And in fact, that influenced me so much that nowadays, as I got more successful and I started paying myself more in business, I realized that, okay, so I was doing it on this amount and now I'm making more money. So should I just go out and spend more money? No, what I figured out was I could put away more money. And nowadays I put away 50% of my check. 50%. Yeah, you heard that right. And let me tell you something. My man Ben Settle, he talks about having FU money. Make sure that you have at least 3 months saved up so that you don't have to be a slave to your clients, and you can say no to any client you want and still have 3 months secured. And look, 3 months is good, but a year is better. 2 years is better. Eventually, you'll have so much money that you won't need to work and you'll be living in a work optional environment. And who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want work optional? I mean, me, I'm going to choose to work. I'm going to work till I take my dying breath because I have too much to give to the world. And actually, we're going to be talking about that in a little bit, but I want to choose it. And I imagine that if you're listening to this show, if you're hearing these words right now, you are just like me and you don't want to be beholden to anybody. You want to be free. And this little step right here where you're saving money and putting away 50% of your paycheck will get you there sooner. So that's finance. Fitness. Fitness was one of the biggest breakthroughs in my early life. And if you're not taking care of yourself, if you don't have energy, if you look in the mirror when you're naked after a shower and you don't like what you see, then you need to get up and do something about it. You need to get off your ass and get out there and start working on your fitness. And look, this is the most selfish thing ever. And this was the biggest change in my early life when I was working in construction and I had a bad back and I decided to start working out and eventually got into bodybuilding and went from 130-pound little tiny weakling to 170-pound stud. Yeah, I felt good about that. And yeah, that's selfish because you look in the mirror and you look at your arms and you're all pumped up and your chest is bulging out of your shirt and you're like, yeah, I am a badass. You know how that plays out in everything else you do? You know the confidence you have on calls with clients? You know the confidence you have when your wife looks at you adoringly and you're like, yeah, that's right. I know you want it. You know what that does for you? And it's not just that. Sure, I'm being vain. That's okay. If you work out and you take care of your body and you look at yourself, you're going to be a little vain because you want to see. You're like, yeah, that's what I've worked for. That's exactly why I did this. If you want to have more energy, I recommend a morning workout. That's what I do. I get up, I do my morning ritual, and I get out there and I get a workout. Boom. Energy for the day. Plus, you got rid of some stress. Plus, you're feeling pumped and looking good. So how could you not start your day right? I mean, come on. Come on. What are we talking about here? You know that you got to be selfish. You got to take care of yourself. And if you've got a hectic family life, if you got people depending on you, then you got to get up earlier and you got to get that workout in so that you can bring the best version of you to each and every day. Last but not least, faith. And this is so important. And look, my faith is part of the reason why I married Cupcake. We were both Catholics and we both went to church together when we were dating, and we got married in the church, and when our son came along, he was baptized, and we're bringing him up in our faith. And look, I'm not saying that I believe all the stuff. All the stuff they tell you, especially in the Catholic religion, there's some crazy stuff in there. And I get it, because people need to hear that stuff that fascinates them, to keep their interest and to make it a mystery. But at the end of the day, faith is about doing the right thing. And it's a moral compass and a guideline to live by. And you gotta give some time to your faith. And one of the things that one of the guys in Knights of Columbus taught me was time, talent, and treasure. That's what you have to give to your faith. Time, talent, and treasure. Think about that. And look, if you take care of these 3 F's, finance, fitness, and faith, there's going to be nothing in the world that can stop you. All right, so let's do a quick recap of what we covered today. And it's the basic oxygen mask principle that they teach in the airplane, and yet you may have never paid attention to. Put your mask on first before you help anyone else. Take care of yourself so that you are strong enough to take care of the other people in your life, the people who matter, your clients, your team, your family, above all else. But in order to do that, you have to take care of yourself. And I told you about the 3 F's. Finance. Put away at least 20% of your paycheck, if not more. Get up to 50% as quickly as you can. Try the T. Harv Eker book. And if you're like me, where I had some trouble with that, then use his envelope system for a while, and it'll help you realize how much you really have. Fitness. Get up. Take care of yourself. Look good in the mirror. Be energized. Feel good about yourself, and start the day strong. And faith. Time, talent, treasure. That's what you have to do in your faith so that you can give back and so that you can receive the benefits of your faith. All right, so that's all I have for you today, as if that wasn't enough. And next time, I'm going to tell you why work-life balance is BS. Until next time, Daddy's out.
This is the podcastfactory.com.